Hi everybody, today's a very exciting day for me because I've just published my fourth book, and the book is about a topic which certainly was incredibly important in my life, and I suspect probably very important in yours. And this is the book, and it's called The Truth About Love, The Lost Secrets of True Love. And you may want to access this book, which you can get on my website, or there is an ebook which gives a bit of a summary should you be interested in that. Now, love is the most important thing in life. It truly is the thing we desire most. We want to be loved, and we want to love. And many of the things we actually do truly are derived or undertaken so that we can feel and be loved by others. But there's much we don't understand about love. And because we don't understand it, our whole lives tend to be thrown into chaos sometimes by love, by separation. And about 8 years ago, I went through a second divorce. So I took the time with some very learned masters to comprehend why this was happening to me. And I learned a whole range of wonderful things, which I've now put in this book to help others. It certainly helped me to have this new awareness, and it might help you, and I hope it does. So here's just a taste. There are 25 things that I've listed in the book that I think we don't collectively understand about love. And if we did, our love lives, in fact, our whole lives would be more, let's call it successful, but certainly more fulfilling. Let's have a few examples. Firstly, we might think, I'm falling in love. Well, love actually is indescribable. Can only be felt. You can't think love, you can feel it though. So if we spend too much time thinking if we're in love or not, then we're probably not. I often say to people, if you don't know if you're in love, the answer's probably no. But I cover that more in the book. Now, some people might also say, I failed in love. I know I certainly had that problem at different parts of my life because I thought I had failed at love. The reality is you don't fail at love because love is something that has a very deep purpose, and that is to help you find your own awareness. It's not just pleasure and fun and an amazing feeling. But the journey to true love actually will often require you to be challenged and to face issues that are sometimes rather uncomfortable, and we don't understand that. Because true love is not something we can just step into like we think. Love is always present and love is always true, but there are many things that get in the way of love, including our mental constructs that block love. And clearing away those mental constructs is actually the way to find true love. Not understood, we tend to blame the other person if love doesn't work, when in fact, all they're giving you is a perfect mirror into yourself. And should you take the opportunity to look into the mirror and find new aspects of yourself, your journey to self-love is well underway. Now, we also might think love is always wonderful, soft and fluffy. It's a truly incredible experience, and I want it. I want it all the time. Now, that's totally understandable. And we all do think that way. The reality of it is when you actually come to understand the energy of love, you realize it's far more than that. What it brings into your life is far more than just fluffy things and wonderful feelings. It's a very deep energy, and it's very, very significant, and it has links to both consciousness and light because of its very nature. And its very nature is it is of infinite intelligence. So if you don't live from love, you miss that trick. And you'll be living from here, which has limited powers, to be honest. Love has infinite powers, and you can access those infinite powers simply by being in sync with your own heart. And therefore you start to follow a divine sort of path for you. Many of us go off on a diversion only to be shunted back onto this divine path. I was, until I saw the reality of it. And it was painful, very painful. I think at last count I had 9 relationships that didn't work. They were hard, but now I look at them with great gratitude because each of them taught me so much and set me up for true love in the future. And I'm very, very grateful for that. So love is both wonderful, but love can also be quite ruthless, because once you understand what it truly is, then you start to come into alignment with it and you start to live with it. The book explains that. The book also explains what I call conscious relating. If you've got a relationship that's good or maybe not so good, and you want it to go to some sort of new level, then there's a way of communicating in a relationship that can give you this ultimate experience of growing together and becoming truly, truly one in your relationship, which we all dream about. But how do we do that? And it's not something we're taught to do by parents, because often they don't know. Well, I didn't know either. So I've talked to some amazing mentors who've given me the know-how about how this actually should work. This universal, infinite way of communicating, which puts love in the center stage of your relationship and gives you the opportunity to have a relationship that's endless in terms of its possibilities. So why not have a read about that? I think it could change your whole relationship structure or the way it works. Now, the last thing, I don't have much time on this video, but what is love? Now, the reality of it is, love is a frequency. You are a frequency. I am a frequency. Love is a frequency that is within us. We are all pure love, and we all have our own individual frequency. Every one of us is different. Now, we think of love as, I'm going to meet someone and they're going to have these qualities and I'm going to be in love. Well, love doesn't work that way. Once you start to understand it, you understand that love and attraction are separate, completely separate. But love is what we call romantic love, which is what my book is largely about. What we call romantic love is a frequency match. When you meet someone who is of a very similar frequency to you, you will call that love. You will feel that energy within you. And it will feel divine. But the reality of it is, everyone you meet, there's love between you and them, between your souls. It's just that for some people, the frequency match is quite close. It'll never be identical, because that's not how the universe works. But it can be very, very close. And that's when you feel this driving desire to be with someone, because your frequency is matched. Now, to have a wonderful relationship, you probably need both love, but also matching levels of attraction. And I cover that in the book as to how that works. So there's much to be understood about love. And when you do understand it, what it really does is it allows you to flow into love. Why? Because you forgive yourself for things that don't work. Because you start to understand the reality of what you were meant to experience in that loving relationship. But you also gives you this massive impetus of hope because you understand how you can get to true love. Now, true love is nirvana for all of us, and it does exist. And this book shows you how you can get there. But don't expect to get there until you are ready to get there, which is what I did. I expected to find true love when I didn't even understand love and I didn't even understand myself. And I didn't have high enough self-love before, so I couldn't actually feel love within me, regardless of how much someone else loved me. And I explain the incredible link between self-love and true love in this book. So if you're interested in love, and I think most of us are, and if you're one of the lucky ones, maybe you've found true love and maybe you've got this incredible relationship. But for most of us, I think, there's perhaps some development we can do, and that is just the way love operates. So I encourage you, if love is important to you and you would like to see some enhancement in your love life, you'd like to take it to a whole new level, then why not grab this book? Or you can go to my website, mark-worthington.com. You can order this, but you can also order an ebook which I've written, which is a short summary of the concepts of love. And you can actually start understanding some of the things I've written about. But there are many things in this book which I think will change the way people perceive love. When we start to understand the most important things in our life, or the most important thing in our life, then we can actually lift our whole being, our whole fulfillment. And let's face it, romance is something that has a big bearing on our psyche. When it doesn't work, it's demoralizing, it's devastating sometimes. And so why not take your love life to a whole new level? Or forgive yourself when it hasn't gone there yet, but it'll give you wonderful hope that you're really, truly on the right path.